defendant, Brooke Skylar Richardson, not guilty of child endangerment. It does say we further find the defendant did not cause serious physical harm to the alleged victim, but that finding is not necessary as a matter of law. Verdict form number 4, we the jury in the above captioned case find the defendant Brooke Skylar Richardson guilty of the offense of abuse of a corpse. Ladies and gentlemen, are those the verdicts of the jury?
Yes, sir.
You may be seated. All right, again, you are now discharged from all your service. Does either side wish to have the jury polled?
No, Your Honor. No, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you will now be returned to the jury room. Thank you for your service. Mr. Mullins is going to give you back your phones and such, and I will see you in a couple of minutes.
She's the high school cheerleader accused of the unthinkable, killing and burying her newborn baby in her backyard. Skylar Richardson came to court flanked by her parents, looking nervous for the first day of testimony. The first witness to take the stand was a shocker. The young man identified as the father of her baby. His face was concealed at his request.
Did you have sex with Ms. Richardson?
Yes, I did.
How many times?
2.
He said Skylar dumped him after.
Father.
Not at all.
She didn't tell anyone she was expecting. When Skylar went to prom night, she was 8 months pregnant. In this photo, you can see a hint of a baby bump under her red mermaid. Just 2 days later, she gave birth in the middle of the night at her parents' house in Carlisle, Ohio.
Took her out, put her in that shallow grave right out in the backyard, and you just put her in there and covered her up.
Okay, so y'all just heard that audio right there. The first audio you heard was well, first off, let me just introduce this sick ass story right here. And first off, I don't want anybody to be even remotely surprised at what you just heard, because we have followed this kind of stuff since Casey Anthony. If she can get away with murdering her child, then any palm-colored woman at this point can. So this woman's name is this chick's name is Brooke Skylar Richardson, and she was a cheerleader at a high school, and she got pregnant. And as you heard, they said when she was going to her prom, she showed a bump in her picture, and I actually saw the picture, and you can actually clearly see the bump is there. I think she tried to hide it, but it's only so much hiding that you can actually do. So right after she gave birth to her child, she took the child, and as you heard in that second clip, it said that she buried her child in a shallow grave. She pretty much admitted to murdering her child, went on trial, was charged with all kinds of murders and whatnot, only for them to come back with a verdict of saying in so many words that she was not guilty of child endangerment, or basically murder. Now, many people will say, how in the hell is that possible? Look at her. She's a young white woman in America, and they have to think of her future, not the future of the child she brought into the world. And then they put the guy on the stand who got her pregnant. Now, before any of you ask, was the guy black? No, he was not. He is white. Because even though they concealed his face, I could see his hands. And she just straight up murdered the child. And I'm going to read something to you. And this is going to prove even more that this chick is even more sick than one will believe. They said the used to be high school cheerleader Skylar Richardson, who was on trial for killing her infant child and burying the child, and alleged text her mom, get this, my stomach is back after burying her child, was found not guilty in her infant baby's murder. She was only found guilty of gross abuse of a corpse. So she cared more about her image and how she looked than the well-being of her child. This is how you know she's young and stupid. If she could snap, because there's a thing called snapping back. She could get the figure back even after having the child. She's one of them chicks that thought that she was going to lose her figure after having the child. If you have good genetics, you can snap back like it's nothing. And she used to be a cheerleader, so that means she had to be in some kind of a shape in order to cheerlead. Or just simply work out after that period. but she cared more about her figure and her physique than the well-being of her child. This is the worst type of person. I want anybody out there to get a good glimpse at her. Don't fuck with a bitch like this. This chick is insane. Now, this is privilege runneth over right here. When you can kill your own child, admit to doing it, text your mother and say, my stomach is back, and then get off on the murder, but just get a low-level charge that'll probably get her what? Probation? Maybe that. And if she does get time behind bars, it probably won't be more than a year. Who was on that jury is the better question. Because they were the ones who came up with the decision. Because I refuse to believe that the defense was that weak and just allow her to walk. But like I said, this is basically Casey Anthony 2.0 because this is playing out just like it did all those years ago. This chick better go into hiding because I'm sure some groups are probably going to come after her if they even get wind of this story. Like that is some sick ass shit. Like I said, white privilege runneth over. And we know that they only took a courtesy out on her because she's a young white woman in America. She has the complexion for protection. And to tack on, she also has that gender as well. She's a white woman, a palm-colored woman. A palm-colored woman who is a murderer, a child murderer, a child murderer murdering her own child because she thought so, because she wanted to look good. I don't think I can say anything else after this. I think I have said all I needed to say. Palm-colored privilege wins again. I swear that palm-colored privilege in most cases, I would say is undefeated, but it has taken some L's, but it has taken more dubs than L's. And this was a huge win right here. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments, and I'll talk to you in the next one.